Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. We did the new Joker from the new film and I am so excited. I cannot wait to see it. Joaquin Phoenix did an amazing job with this character. Oh my goodness. So we started out by painting the clothes. If you are doing this look for Halloween, you can skip on over to the face makeup because I imagine you actually bought clothes and didn't paint them on. But we started out by laying in the base tones, the red for the jacket, the yellow for the vest, and the greenish blue for the undershirt, button down, whatever you want to call it. I left some areas mostly paint free for the highlighting shade. Because this red is pretty dark, I did leave those mostly paint free. I went in with a light layer, as you can see, but still kept it pretty light. Here you'll see I'm going in with the blue-green for the shirt, like I mentioned, and I'm trying to go ahead and draw in the shape of the shirt, just so that I have an idea of how it's going to lay when I add in the shadows and the highlights, etc. So you'll see I leave some areas kind of sectioned off. This will just help with the shading, like I said. Here I begin to add some of the shadows. I mixed in a little bit of black in with the blue-green shade that I used to paint the shirt, and I started adding shadows where there are shadows on his shirt. I did use a reference of the Joker and just looked at how his shirt laid, where the shadows were, where the highlights were, and I just built this up until it looked three-dimensional. Once I have the base shadows in, I do go in with straight black to deepen up the darkest parts of the shadows. This is typically going to be closest to where the fabric sits on top of itself or hovers over, because there's no light getting to that area. So just look at your reference photo and just copy it. See the darkest parts and do so there. Now I'm adding a little bit of highlights with white body paint. I do add it and then blend it out with a little fluffy brush. You can do this with your finger as well. I found it to be easiest with the brush in my opinion, but I just added it where all of the highlights were. Back in with the black, I go in with a fine liner brush right along the edges where each of the pieces of clothing meet each other, and along the neck of the clothing, and just where I need to get some more fine details with the black. I was a little out of frame here, but I did add a little bit of orange to shade the vest. And then with that orange mixed with white and the red, I added the highlights on the coat. I was looking at my reference photo to see where the highlights were. This was around the seams on the shoulders and the collar of the jacket where it, flaps over. And then with just the red, I went in to smooth out the red paint along the highlighted areas and just to really smooth that out and blend the highlights in before I added the shadows. For the shadows, I mixed in black with the red and started adding that to the deepest parts of the shadows. This is going to be right under that flappy collar, and just where I saw shadows on my reference photo. Again, I just used that for my reference to see where the shadows would be, and that's about it. I don't know how else to explain it, but you'll see how I'm doing that here. I did go in with straight black in some areas where the darkest parts were, just like I did with the shirt, and all around the edges. With white on my liner brush, I finished off the clothing by just adding the brightest highlights right along the edge of some of the fabric areas, just to make them pop and make everything look three-dimensional. Now for the face. This is gonna look crazy before it looks good, so just bear with me. We go in with a sponge with the white body paint. I scrunched up my forehead to leave some of the skin showing. The guy's been wearing it for a while, you guys. So I take that all over my face and then blended out some areas with the paint on a brush. And then I took that over the eyelids because his eyelids actually have quite a bright white over them. And then with the blue body paint, I go in to make the little triangles over the eyes. It was really hard to make this messy, you guys, but just do it, bear with it, it'll look good eventually. Once I lay it down, I smudge it out a little bit along the edges with my fingers. And then it does mix with the white a little bit, so I go in with a layer or two to darken up some of the middle areas, but keep it messy, keep the edges blended out. Now it's time to do what Mother always told us and smile and put on a happy face. So with the red body paint, I map out the smile. I just follow my reference photo to get the shape right, and in certain areas I blend it out with my finger, just like we did the eyes, to make it nice and messy and worn in. With the same red paint, I painted the nose. It was really hard to do this. I should have mapped it out with an eyeshadow first. Your nose is just too 3D. And then I painted the eyebrows as well. To add the messy, drippy texture, I took a liner brush with a lot of water mixed with the red paint and just add some dribbly bits down like it's smeared from the eyebrows. He's been sweating. He's been wearing it for a while, okay? Along with the mouth as well. Then I added a little bit of eyeliner to the lower lash line, and with black body paint with a lot of water mixed in, I tried to make it very drippy. There's one scene in the preview where he's crying and there's black dribbling down, and I really wanted to capture that here. And then with a little bit of gray eyeshadow, I contour the face, add a little shape and a little dirtiness there as well. Trying to make my face look a little bit more like his, chiseling out the jaw and the cheeks and the forehead. With the same eyeshadow on a smaller brush, I just deepened up the wrinkles. And then with a green water-activated body paint, I painted my hair. This washed out super easy, so this is a great option. Or you could, of course, use a green hairspray. But that is it. That is the finished look. I hope that you guys enjoyed this. If you haven't already, be sure to click that red subscribe button down below to subscribe to the channel and give this video a thumbs up. I love you guys so much. I hope I see you next time, or the time after that, or the time after that. Okay, bye. Insane. You don't think I look pretty? Oh, I'm crying. Oh, yay! Sorry.